Okay, we're going to be looking at a problem-solving question related around trigonometry. So, in this example, from the top of a cliff 20 meters high, you look down on a boat at an angle of 11.5 degrees. How far is the boat from the base of the cliff? Okay, well, let's start drawing. We've got a cliff that is 20 meters high. Let me just fix that up. And we've got some water at the base. And I know this because we've got a cliff that's 20 meters high. We look down, okay, so we're at the top. And we are looking down at a boat that is on the water at the bottom. Okay, and we need to find the distance here, how far it is away from the base of the cliff. Okay, well, we get given a side, but we also get given this angle, and we have to put it in the right spot. So it says we look down on a boat. Okay, so we're looking down at an angle of 11.5 degrees. Well, that's an angle of depression, which means that from the horizontal, we're actually looking down 11.5 degrees here. Okay, now we need to identify where the triangle is in our problem. Okay, can you see where the triangle is? If I change over, let's go to pink. Okay, we've got our hypotenuse, we've got one side here, and we've got one side here. So now we've got to figure out where our angle is inside the triangle. Okay, because right now it's outside the triangle. Now, I could remember back to year 7 and remember to something called the Z rule and know that this angle that's given to us, 11.5 degrees, is also here. Okay, because we have parallel line, and then those angles are alternate angles. I like to call it the Z rule because there's a Z there. Or I could think about the fact that the distance from the top of the cliff here to above the boat in line here, that's going to be the same distance there as it is down here. Okay, so I could flip my triangle and actually use this triangle. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do the alternate rule because I like it. 11.5 degrees. Okay, so we have an angle. Okay, we have a hypotenuse. Which one's opposite? Okay, what's going to be this side, the opposite, and that makes this one the adjacent. Okay, well, first thing I do when I write into the exam is I write down Sohcahtoa, and now we look at what do I need to find out and what do I get given. Well, I get given the height of the cliff, so I get given opposite, and I want to find out how far it is from the base, so I need to find the adjacent. So I look which one has opposite and adjacent in it. It's tan. So I write, first thing I do is write down the rule. Tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Then I go and sub in tan 11.5 degrees equals 20 over adjacent. And then, because the adjacent's on the bottom, okay, this is how I end up solving it. I move the adjacent out this side of the equal sign, and I swap the tan 11.5 underneath. Okay, so now I just have to solve that. And that is 98.30 meters. Okay, so therefore the boat is 98.30 meters away from the base of the cliff. Done.